Hi everyone, welcome to Cocinando con los Wits. Today I'm gonna show you how I make this delicious, super tasty steak ranchero. It's not like fajitas, this is steak ranchero and it's super good. And we're gonna have it with rice and beans and tortillas, of course. And also if you have somebody that doesn't like spicy, I'm gonna show you when to get some out without the spicy. Okay, let's start with this delicious recipe. These are the ingredients that we are going to need to make our steak ranchero, bistec ranchero. I have here 2 New York steaks and they are around a pound each. So 2 pounds of New York steak. You can use any steak you like, any beef steak. And I'm gonna use 5 tomatoes, 1 whole onion. It's around the size of my fist, I guess. 1 jalapeno. I don't want it very spicy this time because my kids don't like that much spicy. But if you like it spicy, you can add more jalapenos or serranos and it's gonna be more spicy. We're gonna use 1 spoon of minced garlic or around 2 cloves of chopped garlic. 1 spoon of tomato bouillon. You can use salt if you want, or you can use chicken bouillon. I just like to use the tomato bouillon because it gives it that flavor and that red color. And we're gonna use some oil, like around 3 spoons, not that much, and a cup of water. Okay, we are going to start with our first step, which is to start chopping the meat in little squares, little pieces, to start cooking it. Okay guys, we're gonna start cutting the meat, chopping it in little squares. This is not fajitas, so we're gonna cut it in very small pieces. This is called steak ranchero, and we usually used to have it for dinner in Mexico for the main meal, but here they also make it for breakfast. And they just cook the steak ranchero and then 2 over easy eggs on the side. So I cut it in small pieces and now I'm gonna cut it even more. I'm gonna leave the fat because we are gonna kind of boil it in water and let it simmer. And I want all the fat from the meat to come out, so we can use that fat to fry the vegetables in it. And you want your meat to be like small little pieces, and they're gonna get smaller when they cook. So that's around the size that we need for our steak ranchero, bistec ranchero. I was also going to tell you that this is gonna be enough for around 5 people or more, depending on how much you guys eat. But I'm gonna serve my steak ranchero with rice and beans too, and tortillas, so you don't need a lot, I guess. If you have a carniceria, a meat store where they sell the thin steaks for carne asada, that's the one you want to get, so it's easier to just chop it in little pieces. Actually, that's the one we use in Mexico, so that will be ideal, I guess. But you can really use any steak you want. Okay, I'm gonna keep chopping all the meat, and as you can see, this is how it's looking, little pieces of steak. Okay, let's keep chopping all this meat. Okay, I'm done cutting my steak in little pieces. Now I'm gonna start getting my pan warm to start cooking the meat. We are gonna need just the meat, the water, and we're gonna add the chicken bouillon or salt to and the garlic during this step. Okay guys, the pan doesn't need to be super hot, just a little bit warm. We're gonna add the water and then we're gonna add the meat. I added the meat, the water first and then the meat, and this is gonna help the meat get more soft, more tender. So we're gonna just cook it in water until it's cooked. We're gonna add the chicken bouillon, the tomato bouillon and the garlic. Okay, I added the garlic and the tomato bouillon. Now I'm gonna set my heat to medium high, and I'm just gonna let it cook, and while it's cooking I'm gonna start getting my vegetables ready. Okay, while the meat is cooking, I just put it in medium-high heat and I didn't put the lid on. I'm just letting it cook until all the water evaporates and it starts frying a little bit. And we're gonna start chopping the vegetables. We're just gonna cut them in little squares. I'm done chopping in little squares the onion, the jalapeno, and the tomato, and my meat is still cooking. At this point the water is almost gone, evaporated, so I put my heat in high heat just to let it cook a little bit faster and evaporate a little bit faster. It's almost gone, as you can see. Okay, I'm gonna let it cook there. So it took me around 10 minutes to get the tomato, the onion, and the jalapeno done. So it's been cooking here for around 10 minutes. I'm gonna let it cook until all the water evaporates. Okay guys, the water is almost completely gone, and now the meat is gonna start frying with the own oil, fat that came out of the meat when it was cooking. So we're gonna let the meat start frying a little bit. The meat is starting to fry, so I'm gonna let it brown a little bit, and then I'm gonna add the vegetables. This is the point when I like to take out some for my baby. I guess he's 2 years old, for my youngest son, because he doesn't eat spicy, so I'm just gonna take out some for him and put it aside. And the meat is completely cooked and soft, so it's perfect. I also wanted to show you that I have here my rice ready that I was cooking. It's always perfect and delicious. If you want to know how I make it, my recipe is in my channel already. And here are the refried beans too. Okay, I'm gonna let it brown a little bit more. Okay, the meat is already fried a little bit. I lower the heat too low right now. I just wanted to show you that you can see the little pieces of meat that are browning already. And I'm gonna add a little bit more oil just to be able to fry the vegetables that we're gonna add. You didn't have a lot of fat, so that's good, I guess. But I'm gonna add a little bit of oil, like around 2 spoons, to fry the vegetables. Okay guys, we're gonna start adding the vegetables to the meat and start cooking everything together. I added the onion, the jalapeno, and the tomato, and now I'm just gonna start mixing it. As you can hear, it's frying with the oil, and I'm just gonna keep mixing it until it's completely mixed. Okay guys, I mixed all the ingredients. Now I'm gonna put it in medium heat, and I'm gonna put the lid on, and I'm gonna let it simmer for around 5 to 10 minutes until all the juices come out and everything is perfectly cooked. And that's gonna help the meat get softer again, but it's gonna have that delicious like fried flavor. It's still cooking. It's been around 3 minutes, but while I'm cooking that, I'm gonna start getting my tortillas ready, of course. So we're gonna start warming the tortillas. Okay guys, it's ready. Let's see. Look at all those delicious juices and the color that came out of the vegetables. It smells so delicious, so good. I'm gonna lower the heat right now. And this is the time when you can taste it before you turn it off to see if it needs a little bit more salt or if it's good. Let me taste it. It's perfect for me, but if you need a little bit more salt or chicken or tomato bouillon, you can add it right now at this step before you turn it off. If it needs a little bit more of salt, of course, you have to add it right now and chicken bouillon, and you mix it, and then you let it cook for another minute just so all the flavor integrates to everything. Okay, let's start making our delicious plate. Okay, I already turned off the stove, so I'm gonna start making my plate. It's gonna be so good. I'm just gonna add the meat, the beans, and the rice as much as you want. Our delicious steak ranchero, bistec ranchero is ready. I already tasted and it tastes so good. Look how juicy all the flavors came out. And of course I'm having it with rice and refried beans. And if you want to know how to make the rice, just go to my channel. I have the recipe there. And of course we are going to have it with delicious tortillas. You can just make tacos or eat it on the side. And this is the one that I took out for my kid that doesn't like spicy. And I tasted the meat and I had to stop eating it because it's so delicious. And of course, we are going to have some of this delicious cantaloupe and carrot water. If you want to know how to make it, the recipe is in my channel too already. Enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel Cocinando con los Sweets. Thank you.